Far wing three. Milena Iyer from a different zip code. A sizzler through the cylinder. Unbelievable shot. 28-20. Altoona keeping Hollidaysburg at an arm's length. Just over 2 to go in the second quarter. Brings Altoona to a 51-39 lead with 1:20 left in tonight's game. On their way to a 16-game winning streak if they can hang on. Stevenson, right low block. She gets turned away by Bree Hudson. Extra stuffing on that plate there. Here between two teams with a 15-game winning streak and looking for much needed momentum heading into the back half of the season. Bree Hudson, right low block. Bree Hudson finds strings and makes it 30-22 Altoona. 32 ticks to go in the first half. She motors ahead and now gives it up to the top of the key. Milena Iyer, straight away three, down the hatch for Milena Iyer. Her second three-point make of the game. She's up to 10 points on the evening now, and it's a 34-26 Altoona advantage. Altoona's defense only allowing opponents to score 35 points per game during this year. Trying to keep that going against one of the tougher offenses they'll face this year. Milena Iyer, far away three, far wing, an air ball, but right there underneath the basket, Raylan Iyer able to pick up her sister's miss and put it through the tin for her first points of the game. Adds on to the Altoona lead, 14-5 with just over 2 to play, and Gwen Moore turns away the underhand layup attempt there by Lauren Stevenson as it's pawed past the baseline, and we'll reset play with an inbound here. Lauren Stevenson will toss this in for Hollidaysburg. Stevenson scans over her options, running out of time, and finds McKenna Weimert on the near wing, guarded by Bree Hudson. She dashes into the paint, puts one high off the window, tipped up in the air. Bree Hudson, defensive rebound for Altoona. Pushes it into the front court to Milena Iyer. Left low block, layup there, rolls off the front rim. Offensive rebound, no, it's snatched away by McKenna Weimert, who pushes it into the front court. Weimert mid-post, now right low block. Nice layup from the right side. Using the square to her advantage. Cuts away at the deficit, 14-7 Altoona, 1.5 minutes to go in the first.
Impressive basket by Weimert there, dribbles through and takes it up against 3 different Lady Lion defenders as Altoona gets a turnover here on the offensive end. Got 1:26 left here in the first quarter. Lainey Wilt's about to check back in. Just got to keep it rolling here for Altoona. Just got to get back into that offensive flow. The transition game isn't quite working right now. Run your offense, get an open shot, and get something that's going to work there. High percentage shot here, and go from there.
Good to see Lainey Wilt back on the court after an injury earlier. Kate Steiner on for Hollidaysburg. Near corner three there by Vent. Overcooks it. Offensive rebound. Patamonski can't complete the layup. Bree Hudson able to bag the board for Altoona and give it over to Wilt, who dribbles it back and forth across center court. Wilt looking here. She's guarded by Vent. Gives it to Gwen Moore. Up top here. Loses the ball for a second. Raylan Iyer picks it up on that far wing. Bounce pass into Wilt. Back out here to the mid-post right side. Bree Hudson tickles the twine. Adds on to the Altoona lead, 16-7 with 43 ticks to go in the opening quarter.
Good ball movement there, making sure guys get a lot of touches. But the biggest thing there is just getting that high percentage shot. A little mid-range jumper there for Hudson was huge.
30 seconds left. Hollidaysburg trying to cash in with something big here in this possession to get some kind of momentum heading into the second quarter. They turn it over, throws it right into the hands of Bree Hudson. Jillian Sidney was trying to get it to that far corner. Gwen Moore up top. She leads the leather to the far wing. Lainey Wilt, three, and that one rolls around and off the mark. Defensive rebound for Hollidaysburg, picked up there by Jillian Sidney. Tries to toss it into the front court. Bree Hudson smacks it down, and Gwen Moore takes it back into the front court for Altoona. And now we get a travel there called on Gwen Moore. I don't know about that. They say she took an extra step. It wasn't much. And Hollidaysburg will get the ball back with 0.8 of a second to go here in the first. A 16-7 Altoona advantage, and the final moments roll off. We have a good one here at the Hollidaysburg High School. 16-7 Altoona lead. Back with more as you're listening to Lady Lions basketball presented by Amtran. Take the bus on Talk Radio 98.5 and 1240 WRTS. There's a quarter battle here at Hollidaysburg High School for girls high school basketball. Start of the second quarter, 16-7 Altoona. I'm Jake Irwin alongside Jared Prugar, Bob Taylor back in the studio. And it took a little bit for Altoona to figure things out, but later on in that first quarter looked pretty good. They can work a little better in transition, then things would be even better, but so far so good in a game with high stakes like this.
Yeah, the biggest thing is winning the quarter. They won that. They had three different times during that period where they had 9-point leads. Keep building on that. Keep extending that, and don't let Hollidaysburg get confident.
Gwen Moore, nice spin move, right low block, high off the window, fighting for the rebound, and a jump ball is called. Bree Hudson tied up there with Padamonski, two very physical players there, and the arrow goes the way of Hollidaysburg, so they'll bring it up the court, going left to right from where we see it. And as you can imagine, an absolutely packed crowd here tonight. I don't think there's an open seat around us right now, and that's kind of what we anticipated for a game between two teams with 15 straight victories, and Hollidaysburg's lone loss on the year being to Altoona at the Fieldhouse. Far corner three there for Bella Vent, and Bella Vent massages the mesh. Her first three-point make of the game, and Hollidaysburg's first made three-pointer in general, cuts into the deficit. It's now 16-10 Altoona, just over 7 to go in the first half. Braylon Iyer on the near wing has that one snatched away by Bella Vent. She's really good at stealing the basketball and showed it right there with her first steal of the game. Filters it here to the top of the key. Weimert with a three-pointer doesn't go. Gets the miss there and puts it up a second time from the paint. McKenna Weimert, nicely done. Her fourth point of the evening. Quick points there for Hollidaysburg. Makes it a 4-point game. 16-12 Altoona. Just over 6.5 to go in the first half. Bree Hudson, far wing three. But that one will ricochet off the front of the rim. Defensive rebound for Hollidaysburg. They move it up quickly. Here's McKenna Weimert. Wide open shot from the free throw line. And that's nothing but nylon. And a big run there for Hollidaysburg. Forces a timeout by Coach Chris Flegel. And just like that, we have a one-possession game. 16-14 Altoona. 6:20 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, 7-point run there for Hollidaysburg. They just are taking advantage of some ill-advised passing and turnovers for Altoona. Altoona isn't setting anything up. They're just kind of going helter-skelter all over the place there on the offensive side. And Hollidaysburg's getting that ball out in transition, doing a good job of getting the basket. But the biggest thing is they're getting that second possession. They're getting that Weimert, when she took that early three in that possession, follows her shot, gets the rebound. Then they let her wide open there at the foul line. They got to get back into playing their brand of basketball if you're Altoona, and not letting that sort of thing happen. You can't give up second chance points in a game like this.
Right. So ready to resume play here following the Altoona timeout. Hollidaysburg on a 7-point run. Lainey Wilt dribbles it back and forth across center court. Filters it to the far wing for Hudson. Hudson here at the top of the key. Outlets it back for Zaylin Gwenmore. Gwenmore setting the table here for this Altoona offense, trying to slow down the bleeding here that has ensued early on in the second quarter. 16-14 Altoona lead. Raylan Iyer in the near wing. A handoff to her sister, Milena Iyer. Driven over to the far wing for Gwenmore. Here at the top of the key, played defensively by Weimert. Now makes her way into the paint. Left lane shot there by Zaylin Gwenmore is through. And that adds on to the Altoona lead, 18-14 with 5:38 to go in the second quarter.
Her ability to drive is one of the most underrated parts of her game because you don't really need to see it right now. With the amount of shooters that Altoona has and the people that she's surrounded by, you don't necessarily have to see that as Vent goes down hard on her little jump shot there.
Nice job by Bella Vent to make that shot from the paint despite all the commotion around her and hitting the deck. After her follow-through, makes it a one-possession game again, 18-16 Altoona. Not if Zaylin Gwenmore has something to say about it. Straight away three to ripple the rope. Her 7th point of the game makes it a 21-16 Altoona lead. 5 minutes to play in the second quarter, and you love to see the responses by Altoona now after Hollidaysburg scores a bucket.
100%. I mean, the biggest thing, it's not necessarily, it's going to be a game of runs. Hollidaysburg, we knew they were going to get back into it, but it's how did Altoona respond, and they responded about as well as you could have so far.
McKenna Weimert's near wing three catapults off into the hands of Bree Hudson for Altoona, brings it into the front court. She's denied on her way up. Bella Vent brings it over to the right side for Hollidaysburg. Near wing, she collides with Zaylin Gwenmore, and Gwenmore called for the foul. So that is Gwenmore's second, and the team's first with 4:32 to go in the second. Samantha Harpster comes in for Raylan Iyer. So an inbound here to our right from Vent on the near sideline. Finds Stevenson, the senior here at center court, who has a slow back and forth dribble going. She looks things over, finesses her way towards the paint, gives it quickly to Weimert. Weimert, the spin shot there, puts it up, air ball, Patamonski offensive rebound, and she is fouled. One going up to that shot there by Zaylin Gwen-Moore. So 2 quick fouls there by Zaylin Gwen-Moore, and she'll definitely be heading to the bench now with her 3rd foul already and the team's 2nd.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, you got to be a little bit smarter than that. I mean, it's an aggressive play. You want that aggressive style, but you just got to be smart. But now she's in significant foul trouble. 3 fouls here. We're almost midway through the second quarter.
Claire Patamonski's first one is pure, her first point of the game, and there goes Gwen-Moore on the bench, and a 5'10" junior forward Kendall Kogan steps in for her. Positions herself on that right low block here in the second free throw for Patamonski. Goes off the right side of the rim. Patamonski gets the miss, runs all the way to the near corner, anticipating that miss, and keeps the possession going here for Hollidaysburg. That's Vent here in the near wing, who dashes her way into the paint, guarded nicely there by Wilt. First shot doesn't go, second one will just bounce around off the right side of the rim, and now a foul called there when Altoona was trying to transition the ball. It's going to Hollidaysburg's McKenna Weimert. For McKenna Weimert, that's her first and the team's first. 21-17 Altoona, 3:57 to go in the first half.
You hate to not make your foul shots, right, if you're Hollidaysburg, but the good thing was for them is they still maintain possession after it ultimately could have been a 3-point play or 3-point series there, but now they go empty with that. Now it's Altoona ball as they look to get on the scoreboard yet again.
Hollidaysburg started off this third quarter with a 7-0 run. Altoona has done a nice job, though, responding. Melena Iron, left low block, and that's a bullseye for the senior guard. With her 4th point of the game, adds on to the Altoona lead, 23-17, 3.5 to play in the first half. Stevenson whips it over to Jillian Sidney, far corner 3, that goes off and goes into the hands of Wilt. Advances it quickly to Harpster. In the front court, pass to left, low block from Melena Iyer, can't get the roll in the layup. Bree Hudson, though, to save the day, gets the roll off the front of the rim. Bree Hudson there, adding on to the Altoona lead, 25-17. With almost 3 minutes to go in the second quarter.
The good news for Altoona is that Bree Hudson is a freshman. The bad news is for Hollidaysburg, she's only a freshman. She's going to be around for a while. And she is, again, speaking of, as she swats that one into next week, she is well worth the price of admission. Over the next 4 years, people need to come see her play.
She just had 2 block shots in a matter of 3 seconds.
Yes, yeah, and again, to do that as a freshman, like, this is not the same Bree Hudson that played against Hollidaysburg at the beginning of the season. She's a much more mature, much more physical type player, well within herself and her confidence. She is a special, special player.
So following Bree Hudson, showing off her hops and batting that one past the baseline, inbound here to Vent at the top of the circle. Transmits it back here, wide open 3, far wing for Patamonski, and that is a silky smooth shot. Nothing but nylon there for Claire Patamonski. Makes Hollidaysburg's second free of the game and cuts into the deficit, 25-20. Altoona, 2:25 to go in the second quarter. Need a response here to not allow Hollidaysburg to get any momentum as we edge closer to halftime. Far wing 3, Melena Iyer from a different zip code. A sizzler through the cylinder. Unbelievable shot. 28-20. Altoona keeping Hollidaysburg at an arm's length. Just over 2 to go in the second quarter. Now here's a 3 by Hollidaysburg's Bella Vent that regurgitates out of the basket, and therefore the rebound for Altoona's Melena Iyer. Moves it quickly into the front court. Melena Iyer, another 3, near wing, goes in and out. Kendall Kogan there for the offensive rebound. Over to Bree Hudson right side, and Bree Hudson can't hang on to it. Jillian Sidney brings it over for Hollidaysburg over to the right side. There's a shot by Sidney, far wing, and it scuffs the tin and falls into the hands of Raylan Iyer for the board. What a sequence we had there, Jerry.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's one of those things it's so back and forth. It's nice and hectic, but in a quality way. But it's been fun to watch so far.
Melena Iyer, 2 defenders in her face. Chris Flegel yelling for a foul. Nothing gets called. He's furious.
Every Altoona fan, player, coach wanted a foul there. The only people that didn't, obviously, were Hollidaysburg and the referees.
McKenna Weimert, shot from the short corner there, far side, doesn't go. Second attempt, and that is nothing but net. there for McKenna Weimert. She's having herself a nice evening, up to 8 points after she had 18 points last game, and slowly puts a dent into this deficit. It's 28-22. Altoona, 50 ticks to go, and what has been one exciting first half here between two teams with a 15-game winning streak and looking for much needed momentum heading into the back half of the season. Bree Hudson, right low block. Bree Hudson finds strings and makes it 30-22 Altoona. 32 ticks to go in the first half. Stevenson advances it up the court for Hollidaysburg with a back and forth dribble. Now has it here at the top of the key. Forwards it to the far wing for Jillian Sidney. The give to the far corner for Weimert, brings it up top to the far wing. There's a three-point shot, goes off the backboard and nothing else. Defensive rebound for Harpster for Altoona. 10 seconds left. Melena Iyer brings it across center court, makes her way into the paint, and has that one tip off of Hollidaysburg when trying to pass it over to the right side to Kogan. We'll see some substitutes come in. Alyssa Hine for Hollidaysburg, Lainey Wilt for Altoona. 6.8 seconds to go in the second. It's a 30-22 Altoona lead, and we'll also see the sophomore guard Kate Steiner head into the game for Hollidaysburg.
Here you want to make sure you get the last basket. You got 6.8 seconds left in the first half. Get a bucket here and go into the half up 10.
Kendall Kogan can't get her shot to go from the mid-post on the left side. Snatched away by Altoona, though, at center court when Hollidaysburg was trying to move it across. And that is how our exciting first half will end. 30-22, our score in favor of Altoona, who's looking to beat Hollidaysburg for the second time this season. First time they would do so since the 2018-19 campaign. And we will recap all the action that's happened so far and give you our thoughts for what to expect in the second half of this huge border battle in the Amtran halftime show. That's coming up here after the break. You're listening to Altoona Lady Lions basketball, presented by Amtran. Take the bus on Talk Radio 98.5 and 1240 WRTA.
ARC